The following program is a UW-TV classic.
From the University of Washington in Seattle, Upon Reflection with Al Page.
Our guest is Professor Noam Chomsky from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and a guest lecturer at the University of Washington.
What determines how language in a particular country evolves? Why is French, for example, so different from German?
Well, first of all, you're assuming the French is different from German. And
the French would probably say so.
You know, there's no simple measure of how different languages are from one another. In fact, if you look at the languages structurally, the way a linguist would look at them, French is different from the other Romance languages in a variety of ways, which make it more similar to German and other Germanic languages. There are a number of features of French which are sort of Germanic in character.
Give us some of those features.
Well, just to take a simple one, in all the Romance languages, except for French, you can delete the subject of a sentence. You can say the equivalent of walks to the store, meaning he walks to the store. We can't do that in English, but you can do it in Italian or Spanish, and in fact it's common Romance, goes right back to Latin. French is the only Romance language in which you can't do that. It's like a Germanic language pretty much in that respect. They have what they call clitics, small pronouns that you attach to verbs. So you say the equivalent of I, him, saw. That's common Romance. But in the other Romance languages, you can do things like I, him, want to see. You can do that in all, meaning I want to see him, but not in French. And for a variety of constructions, actually, there are quite a number of respects in which French is different from the other Romance languages. Incidentally, Old French, Middle French, say French in the medieval period was not. It was like the other Romance languages. So something happened to it that made it less like the Romance languages and more like the Germanic languages.
How does language change over time? How did 18th century French change compared to 12th century French?
Well, you know, when we talk about language change, that's very misleading. I mean, there is no such thing as a language in France. I mean, up until, say, the turn of the century, you could find people in nearby villages in France who virtually could not understand one another. The idea of a national language is a pretty modern phenomenon. It has to do with the rise of nationalism and communication and so on, or take, say, Italy today, or Germany today. I mean, the differences among the things that we call German are enormous, so enormous as to lead to non-mutual intelligibility. You have to learn the national language when you go to school. It's a different language than the one you spoke at home.